Before we start, I want to say that the video you're about to watch comes from the Thames Valley Police YouTube channel. It's a really well-known and widely used video, and for good reason. It explains consent in a simple, memorable way that most people can understand. What it doesn't do, because it wasn't designed to, is to take into account trauma, attachment, or what consent can look like for teenage girls in foster care. So, as the video plays, I'm going to pause it at a few points and add some extra context. Not to contradict the message, but to build on it from a carer's perspective. Think of this as taking a good foundation and making it more realistic for the young people you're caring for.
If you're still struggling with consent, just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they go, "Oh my God, I would love a cup of tea, thank you."
This is a helpful starting point, but for girls in foster care, it's rarely this simple. Some girls have learned very early on that saying yes keeps people close, avoids conflict, or makes them feel chosen. So even an enthusiastic yes can sometimes be shaped by fear of losing connection. This isn't about doubting her words, it's about understanding the situation she's making choices in. If you're explaining this to a young person, you might say something like, "Sometimes people say yes because they really want to, and sometimes they say yes because they're worried about what might happen if they don't. Both matter."
Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" and they're like, I'm not really sure," then you can make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware that they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important bit, don't make them drink it.
A lot of traumatised young people don't say no clearly. They might say, "I don't mind, whatever," or "it's fine." That doesn't mean comfort. For some girls, being unsure is about having learned that refusing isn't safe. You could explain this to a young person by saying, "If you're not sure, that's not a yes. You don't have to sound confident or strong for it to count."
Just because you made it doesn't mean you're entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say, "No thank you," then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay?
This sounds obvious, but for some girls, saying no has had consequences in the past. Saying no might once have led to anger, withdrawal, punishment, or being ignored. So even knowing you can say no safely is something that may still be developing. One way you might explain this is, when it comes to your body or sex, you're allowed to say no in this house. You don't get into trouble for that. And it's important to be clear, that's different from things like homework or coming home on time. Those are still expectations we talk about and stick to.
They might say, "Yes, please, that's kind of you." And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind, and you are still not entitled to watch them drink it.
This part is especially important for teenage girls. Many girls in care experience shame or regret afterwards, even when they initially agreed. Being able to change your mind isn't just about consent, it's about dignity. If you were talking this through with a young person, you might say, "You're allowed to change your mind at any point, even if you said yes earlier, even if you don't know how to explain why."
And if they're unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea, and they can't answer the question, "Do you want tea?" because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea, and they said yes, but in the time it took you to boil the kettle or brew the tea and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down, make sure the unconscious person is safe, and this is the important part again, don't make them drink the tea.
Trauma can affect capacity. Dissociation could look like going quiet, zoning out, or just going along with things. And from the outside, that can be easy to miss. You could explain this to a young person by saying, if you feel numb, frozen, or not really there, that's a sign you're not in a good place to agree to anything, even if you don't say no out loud.
They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they are safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it, going, but you wanted tea last week.
Prior consent doesn't create entitlement, but girls who've experienced conditional care can feel like they owe attention, affection, or access. That can quietly shape relationships. If you're putting this into words, you might say, just because you said yes once doesn't mean you have to say yes again. You don't owe anyone access to your body. And again, it helps to add the clarity. That doesn't mean house rules disappear. It just means that your body isn't up for negotiation.
Or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, but you wanted tea last night? If you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you are able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea.
This video gives a useful foundation, but trauma adds layers. Fear, pressure, and the need to stay connected can narrow choices. As a carer, you don't need to decide what something really was. Your role is to help young people learn that consent is ongoing, safety matters more than pleasing others, and they can talk to you without being judged. You might sum it up to a young person by saying, you don't have to have everything figured out. If something feels confusing or uncomfortable, we can talk about it. My job is to help you stay safe, not to judge your choices.